What's up, everybody? Let's draw some monkey ball, and then we'll get this guy done. Let's see. All right. New camera. No, same camera. That thing is weird, Kyle. Hey, you can join me on Skype if you got the opportunity, but yeah, same camera, man. Just sometimes it does that weird shit. Sometimes it don't. It was doing it last night, so. Sub Crusher. Sure. Hey, what up?
Good evening, Rob.
What's going on, Kyle?
Just got back from your old stomping grounds down in San Diego.
Okay, I was gonna say, I'm like, uh-oh, what does he know? What does he have on me? Hotels have I been in? Yeah. Sweet. What were you doing out there?
We're shooting a Nike commercial.
Oh, there you go. Guess you just did it.
I
Uh,
did.
uh,
I did.
uh. With LaBouffe? Why haven't they signed him up yet? You know?
Um,
Answer
I
me.
don't know.
You have the capability here, Kyle, to bridge the gap, you know? You can go to one of these shoots and be like, hey, LaBouffe. And they're like, did you just sneeze in my ear? Like,
Yes, yes, I did.
yeah, yes, that's what I do. This is what I do. I sneeze on you.
It's kind of my thing. And you know it. You'll remember me.
Your middle name's Oso.
Oh, so?
Mm-hmm. Kyle
Oh, so?
Oso. Right. Get it?
No.
It's that humor of yours. It's like an impenetrable wall. It's like the Nova Core, you know? Like I gotta, yeah, it's tough. Gotta break through that. So did you get back yesterday or today?
Today, I
Hmm.
drove straight back right after work.
Well, that's cool. You don't have to fly or nothing, right?
Yeah, I mean, it would take me just as long. It would take me longer, in fact, to fly than it would to drive.
Right. And no anal probing, you know, that you know of driving there. So. They made some
And
lady with cancer take off her wig and shit a couple weeks ago. It's crazy.
the airport?
Yeah. So she's like, oh, she might have been a former law person or something. It was someone with some kind of prominence, and then just sitting there with her cancer head. It's fucking ridiculous.
That's the TSA for you. Is this another cover?
Yeah, this is the cover to MegaVisions issue 2. Every couple months I got to do one of these. So
Oh
I got
yeah,
four
that's right.
more to do after this. So. This only snuck up on me because of the French cover, which was unexpected. It's not like I go seeking freelance right now, aside from little sketches, you know. But
Hmm.
um, it's what we do sometimes, right?
So you got your comps.
Yeah, those arrived today. They came out nice.
Good.
So it was cool.
They,
They
not only did they give you comps, they shipped it from France.
from France, you know. And the amazing part is, I'll put it onto the camera. The amazing part is they also managed to give me proper credit. You know, like a full page too with my picture and my name. Like these guys, like the French man, they just respect artists. You know, they just do it, man. You know, and I even put
I don't,
the other ones in here too. The original one, it's funny. They put it in one of the spreads.
your pictures in there? Is it a view with your usual smile?
No, it's the drawing of me, man, the icon. So, yeah, we don't do photos. Where's the there's another. They put the spread in here. Here it is. So they put the original version on the inside, which I guess was already in there, and they didn't have time to flip it out. You know, so
Oh,
they're
okay.
both in here. Yay! You know,
Okay. That's the original, right?
yeah,
The interior.
yeah. It gets a little guttered with the characters, but what can you do? You know? So
Well, if they're going to ruin one of them with the gutter, Might as well run that.
Yeah, let it be that version. So it's interesting, man. It takes a lot to do the digital inking.
Hmm.
And while you've been gone, I've been practicing trying to color this stuff. I still think for like pro covers like that, digital inking is probably necessary for now. I am trying to do slightly cleaner. Like my philosophy on this before was, I'll just draw it with pencil and ink, so I have something drawn, and then
Hmm.
refine it in the inks. But I kind of want to finish PowerPrint sometime soon. So, like, I'm like, how long is this taking? Like, what is the time here? And it seems to be between 14 and 20 hours, you know, which, given, again, I always say, given that if I handed it off to an inker, you add up the time it takes to draw it, you add up the time it takes the inkers to do it, it's still the same amount of time. But I am one guy. You know what I mean? It's not quite the same scenario because, so I did a test with the Final Fantasy VII in its current state the other night, and I was like, look, here's the digital one, here's coloring over the roughy. After it's colored, what is the difference? You know? And structurally, there's some things that I could have changed and spent more time noodling on, on the page. But overall, not a lot of people can tell a difference. You know what I mean? Like, there are people who
Yeah,
can. Hmm?
they
Good.
they were pretty close. I mean, I could tell which one was the traditional, but that's because I stare at your stuff and
Well,
watch all your videos.
I think it's fairly obvious. That being said, you know, are you getting a less of a picture? You know what I mean? It's not a question of what's the superior quality. Quality wise, digital is always going to be a little better because I can zoom in, I can perfect the lines, adjust sizing on things, and really noodle each piece. The question is that an appropriate use of my time? Compounded over another 7 pieces when you start adding up the hours. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's exactly what I got. You know what I mean? I didn't pitch that.
Yeah, I mean, it really only makes sense when you're doing like original commissions and someone's going to put the original art on their wall. And
No, no, no. That
it
never makes
just,
sense for commit. It makes more sense for like a cover in which I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Like maybe some real cover art, like on a magazine. Someone who's not gonna tolerate it. See, fans kind of like the. Here's the thing on the internet, they like it a little less perfect.
mhm.
You know what I mean? That's why you got people drawing just like super loose sketches with paints, and you're like, that's fucking amazing. I'm like, that would never fly in the real world, But the internet isn't the real world; it's the internet. So
Mhm.
I do a cover with IDW. I don't know if they'll go for that roughy look because they're like, we don't want that painted look because we want it to be more clean. You know what I mean? Like to them, it's a matter of like when it's rough, they like tend to liken that up to a style. You know, maybe that's not what they're going for. Um, so with this piece, I'm going to attempt to color right over these. So I'm trying to make them a little cleaner. It
Mhm.
is eating up a little more time than I would normally allot for this sort of shit. So that's fucking annoying. But, at some point, I imagine that'll speed up, as I get used to the process. But with the Final Fantasy stuff and the X-Men, I'm definitely just going to draw it and digitally color over the roughs. So, in the interest of whatever. And I'll just try to get better at rendering and better at drawing it on the page, which, isn't a bad trade off.
No. So what game is this?
The game is Yakuza, which is kind of like a Grand Theft Auto style game. Come from Japan. It's the guys who used to make Shenmue and stuff, which is kind of a precursor to Grand Theft Auto in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, not. But in the game, they also go to arcades like Club Sega. Sega makes it, so they also put in an arcade called Club Sega in every game. They also have retro games that they put in old Sega retro games like Outrun and Hang On and Space Harrier and Fantasy Zone. So I try to work those little cabinets here.
Club Sega. Is that anything like when Uwe Boll did that one video game movie and he had like the Sega, like,
Yes, that's actually same publisher. So yes. It's probably based on that. I didn't see any of his movies, but the answer is 99% yes.
Wait,
Um,
you haven't seen any Uwe Boll movies?
no, 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 no.
Yes,
I know, no.
you need
I
to see
don't.
that.
I don't.
Like
If I
House
just
of the
want to see annoying
House of the Dead
German,
or something.
huh? No, I don't. I don't. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, Kyle. So
It's
I know.
incredible.
I know. I know. Every now and then I'll just put a little clip. I'll just type in, see what he did. Oh shit. Like let's go see what Blood Rain was like.
Yeah, I guess you don't
Hmm.
really need to see the whole movie. You just watch the clip and like, all right.
All right.
Basically, it's just a 2 hour long clip.
Yeah. So
But yeah, House of the Dead is pretty incredible. It's so bad.
credible
It's
with quotation
great.
marks. I think we should emphasize that.
Yeah.
It's been a little tough too because last night the Nintendo Switch was unveiled finally, and I rarely have ADD. Like, oh my god, I gotta go get hyper focus on internet chatter. But when a new Nintendo system drops or a new Star Wars trailer drops, those days don't I don't get much work done.
Hmm.
Even when I had a job, I'm like not working much today. Gonna go in, just gonna fucking turn in what needs to be turned in, and not put much effort into this. You know, I'll be on the internet, so a little tough.
So do they have like a particular like just killer game coming out the gate that you're really
Well,
excited for?
Zelda, and then a lot of other disappointing nonsense, and then Mario eventually. Although I think Mario should be either at launch or it should be as close as June. It's gonna be a lot further out. It's kind of bullshit what they're up to, but I'm what you call a sucker, so I can't. I tried this once when I was a kid. I don't need a Nintendo system. I'll go get this other thing, and then all my friends are playing Mario World, and I'm not. And that no, these are little kid years, so we're talking like let's see, the seventh or eighth grade, around the seventh grade, is when it came out. I didn't get a Super Nintendo until my senior year in high school. You understand?
Hmm.
Kind of a long ass time that is for a kid. you know, it's fucking tough, bro. You know. So it was at Christmas. I had to wait for my stepmother to get divorced from my father. She was always like, he doesn't need it. I'm like, no, I don't. But I've worked my fucking ass off around here. I take care of your kids. I do the dinner. I clean the house. I do. I was Cinderella. You know what I mean? I had to get fucking straight A's. All I'm asking for Christmas is for a stupid $200 fucking game machine. I didn't even want to own games other than Mario World. I was like, or Zelda. I was like, oh, just give me. Let's go rent it. I like the renting of the games more than owning them back in the day because you can flip them out.
Hmm.
So, but I was like, so they got divorced, and that Christmas, guess what I got? Like I didn't. It's like I knew that chick was. I can't call that a cock block, but you know what I mean. She was game blocking me. It's ridiculous.
That is maybe the saddest tale I've heard all week.
It was annoying considering how much work I was doing, and we had the money. It's not like we didn't have the money. Like we were some uber poor family. We weren't rich, but my father had the money. So, so I get one regardless of whether.
Whether it's good or not.
Yeah, even though I was dirt poor, I'd just fucking take a bunch of commissions. Be like, I'll just piecemeal my way. You know? Drives my wife nuts because she's like, I'm like, hey, student loans are paid off. Guess what I'm getting? I don't give a fuck. So, and to be honest, man, I don't really fucking own shit. I'm not really. You don't see. You've been in my studio before. You don't see toys everywhere and fucking. I have 12 old ass comics on my wall. You know what I mean? Like,
You have a couple well, comics, you got like your one artist edition book, and then you got your gaming stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty light on the. I invest in the TV, and I invest in my gaming entertainment. Not a lot though. I don't. It's not like I even buy games a month. I buy games rarely, honestly. So
Well, and then there's the wall that we never see on your streams because it's the one behind your monitor, and it's just made with solid gold bricks.
yeah, yeah,
That's the other thing.
it's true. Yeah, it's a fucking pain in the ass to draw tiny. I don't know how artists do it.
Uh, Damiano asks, "Hey, when do you know where to use the white liner, or is that a stylistic kind of thing?"
Just do it to pop characters out from one another, or little bits. Like I'll go and pop out some of those little hair details and stuff. But like this gun kind of melds in, so I'll just do it to outline, stuff. I mean, it kind of gets filled in with color. It's weird because once it gets colored, then you just got this weird gap in between things. It happens in comics all the time, you know. Um, you don't notice it, but it's there. I've thought back and forth between not doing it, but it does help on the art when you're looking at the lines to pop things out. So yeah, you can go crazy with it. You can do highlights and then outline them and shit, like fucking some more pro inkers do, like Tim Townsend. You look at his stuff with Bajala's work. I mean, it's just nothing but stroke on stroke on stroke on stroke. Like tons of that stuff. So a lot of the stuff now where I put the white highlights, I just know I'll probably end up doing a color stroke on it anyway, in color once I go to color it. So it won't be so weird. But I only know that because I'm doing the coloring. I wouldn't trust a colorist to do that, you know.
So we've got this kind of cool art gallery here that does a lot of pop culture art shows, and today they just opened up a Rick and Morty gallery.
You gonna take
Here.
that piece I did down there and just put it on the wall? Just crash it.
Sorry, guys. I already got my Rick and Morty art.
Yeah.
I was gonna try to catch the opening night tonight, but I didn't get back from San Diego early enough.
Mm. Well, Dom reminds me of my buddy. I had a friend in college called Damaso. I got him a job too. Fucking dumbass showed up without his portfolio. I was like, it's an art job, bro. He's like, oh, am I gonna need that? I'm like, yeah, and probably not wearing sandals. Send him back to his house. Come back. We're gonna put some shoes on. You're early, so go. He didn't live that far away, luckily. Wear some shoes and bring your fucking portfolio. Yeah, he's very confident in his abilities. He's a funny guy. I gave him the job I had. That's what it was as I was leaving. I was like, I know a guy who could fill this role nicely. I was like, what are you doing after you graduate? He's like, I'm thinking about, teaching. I'm like, all right, well, before you start your grand teaching career, maybe you want to actually have one, like. So like I said, he was very confident in himself, his capabilities. He's a good dude, though.
Never been interested in teaching.
No,
Mostly,
he
I'd be.
just likes people paying attention to him and taking him seriously. Like that's really what he's never taught since. He just like to be the one in charge.
I'd just be like the worst teacher. Like, so Kyle, how do you do this? Like, I don't know. You just
Push some buttons.
push them in there.
Push some buttons.
I don't know. You look at it. If it looks wrong, do it different.
You could teach it AI. That's pretty much the course. As long as you don't have a soul, it's possible with you.
All right. I check all the boxes.
Right. Check, check, check. In your Bill Murray face. Check. We need cool people to teach. We can't video sketch remote in our career. Neo impressionism. I don't think you're allowed to teach at like real schools unless you do exactly that. Like high schools. I think you have to. It's mostly art history now. They don't even let you take real art classes, right? They wrap it up in art history, where you're gonna study the great Michelangelo. Meanwhile, they're like, your anatomy's all fucked up. I'm like, have you looked at Michelangelo's anatomy? I'm sorry, have you looked? Very well shaded, but have you looked at the proportions? I did. I remember throwing that in my teacher's face. I'm like, okay, so this foot is 3 times the size of that fucking head. Let me see your feet. You just need to sit down, and not talk. No problem. I know a lot of people think I put tiny details in my art, but I'm really not good at drawing small. A lot of this has been me trying to get better at it. I'm like, fucking. This whole art, I don't want to get into this, but I got a little riled up today. I was like, I don't know why I read the fucking internet some days. So like, there's an artist put out a video why you should draw fan art. Oh my god! And then a bunch of artists that I know are like, I don't really work on fan art because I have my own creations and I think it's a conflict of interest. And I'm looking at their fucking Instagrams. I'm like, your whole fucking thing is full. I'm like, hey, what about this? And they're like, those are commissions. I'm like, that's fan art.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's true. Well, it's not the same thing. I mean, I'm getting paid to do it, so I'm like, it's fan art. Fan art. Like,
Like, were you hired by the publisher to draw that?
yeah.
No? Then it's fan art.
Like, you guys are in denial. Like, they're in denial about fan art the way, like, some of my exes are in denial about who they slept with. Oh no, that wasn't real. No, it was real. No, it didn't count.
Just got done reading the Hellboy Library #5, which is where Duncan Fegredo takes over, and I'm enjoying his art style. He talks a little bit about how when he started drawing the comic, Mike Mignola kept telling him, like, you're putting in too much detail. It's too many details.
I think what's important isn't so much the details, which you can or can't do. I think what's important are two things. One, that everything has a solid shape to it, foundationally. And two, that you leave room open for the world atmosphere.
Hmm.
You know? And the atmosphere of the world is what the movies do not convey at all. You know? They don't have that atmosphere. Um, kind of in the second one, when he's got the skeleton dude, kind of. But to me, the movie that captured it better would be Coraline. You know, with those winds and the leaves and
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that. If you saw Hellboy come right over the fucking hill in that movie, you'd be like, of course. You know?
yeah.
Of course. But Duncan's good. He drew the Jane and Silent Bob miniseries back in the day, didn't he? Was that Fegretto or Rouleau? I can never remember those. I get my Duncans mixed up.
You know, I don't know. I shall look.
I felt the Hellboy movies were more like Men in Black. I just tonally they were trying to like mash that up at Sony. So
Dunk Fegredo did do Jay and Silent Bob.
see, those are. Have you ever read that?
Or
His Jay and Silent Bob work?
he did a splash page. I don't see any of his
No,
pages here.
he did the Jay and Silent Bob. They did it on this road trip. The basis for that, the majority of it is what ended up in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Like it's almost a complete adaptation of that story.
Okay.
They go on a road trip with a monkey. I think they end up at Comic Con. Don't quote me on it. It's been 20 years almost since I read it.
Let's see, Damiano. Yeah, I think Ron Perlman was a good choice for actor for Hellboy.
Yeah, I just wish it was stop motion. I wish it looked like Coraline.
That would be pretty awesome.
And it was in 3D.
Yeah, I don't think Kubo and the Two Strings did super well financially. So
They
maybe
need a
they
license.
need a license.
They need a license.
Not that Hellboy as a license automatically would bring success.
Maybe
I mean,
Netflix can hire them.
yeah, yeah, I don't know who else I would cast in that role. I have to think about that.
Oh, what is Hellboy?
Yeah,
John Goodman. I don't know.
it's good voice. Yeah,
He wouldn't do so good with the little version, but not like whoever they
live
hired to
action.
hire, whoever they hired to do that kid version of him wasn't so good either. So that was ridiculous. The big buck teeth and shit. You're like, ah.
But only they can do John Goodman, but then they have to get like John Turturro to be Abe Sapien.
Billy Crystal.
I don't think Billy Crystal is allowed to do anything anymore other than host like the Oscars.
You know who could voice Hellboy? Cisco.
Hmm.
Cisco could do it. Avery Brooks. Oh, I threw for a loop. You didn't think a black guy could do it. I am telling you. He's a thespian. I'd like to see Sam Jackson's I'm a hell boy. He wouldn't do that, but that would be awesome. Like what if he just ran with the title and he didn't really know what it was about? He just kept emphasizing he's from hell. I'm hell, motherfucking boy. Like, no, no, no. I raise hell. No. Um, somebody get his agent. Like, we gotta. I know who'd be woefully inappropriate for the role is John Leguizamo. But I would like to see that. You know, just let all the Hellboy fans have their Street Fighter the movie moment when they realize they're fucked. Like, like not only is this bad, like they're never gonna get another movie, let alone this one. They might ruin their games too. Like the chances, this might take everything down. Tom Hardy could pull off that voice too, right? He's got that whole, you know,
Just as long as he
Cumber
doesn't mumble.
Cumberbatch. Is he gonna hear the voice? You can't think the person. I mean, would you hear Hellboy? What do you think? Boston? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do Ben Affleck with the Boston Ka. You know, there's got to be some great Welsh actors and shit. Like, oh, Christian Bale. There you go. Christian Bale. That's Hellboy. Just pouts the whole movie. Yeah, Tom Hardy and Taboo. You should check that out. You want to see some hardcore shit. I think Tom Hardy could pull it off.
Do you think Bill Murray would be up for doing Hellboy?
Yeah, he did Garfield. Tell him you're a Cohen. Seems to be the trick. You know that story, right?
No.
Yeah, you know why he took the Garfield movie?
Why is that?
Because the director's name was Eaton Cohen. He thought it was one of the Cohen brothers. Shit, you not. It turned out, not a Cohen brother.
It's the far less successful third cousin.
The crazy irony is he voiced Garfield in the Garfield movie, but Garfield voiced Peter Venkman in the Ghostbusters cartoon. Do that math, brother. You know, what are the odds of that happening?
It's just further proof that we live in a giant simulation and whoever's running it is messing with us.
Yeah, like why can they sell catsup and ketchup in the same spot? You know? Why? What's the point? They could one day just sell ketchup or catsup and no one would fucking know the difference. They don't need both. No one passes up the ketchup and goes, no, no, no. Catsup.
I'm sure somewhere out there, there's like a fine connoisseur of sauces.
Oh, I'm certain now you are. Just because that's how you are, you know? Like, oh, no, 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 I'm that guy. 24 hours later at Trader Joe's, Kyle, now just drag some poor fucking new guy in there to have him explain to you what the difference is, just to fuck with him, you know? Then complain to the manager that he doesn't really know, he's not aware enough.
So the guy with the big gun in the foreground, what's that thing right below the barrel? Like, looks like some sort of weird creature face.
What, this?
Uh, Maybe once the stream lag catches up. Uh, no, it's above that. It's like at the girl's knee in the background.
The girl's knee in the background. There's no creature face. You might be reading the lines too much.
Uh, you're
Under his hand, over by the bike. What? You,
It's
you
like it's like right above the dump truck, but below the barrel of the gun. There's like I don't know what it is.
no, that's just her feet back here in her legs, bro. You're looking, you're seeing the lines in a light that doesn't actually exist. There's no face. Her arms come down here. These would be her hands, and then she's on a bar stool, sitting in front of an arcade cabinet.
But I mean, like what's in front of her knee? Like it looks like it's floating in the air there. It's in the foreground.
But this silencer right here on the barrel of the gun.
Uh, there's got to be a better way for me to describe it.
Jesus, Kyle. You know, you're like a storyteller. You tell me. I don't know what you're looking at.
So the girl in the background, her left knee, like is kind of blocked by something in the foreground.
Yeah, this thing right here, it's an arcade game called Hang On. It was actually a motorcycle that kind of looked like the Kira bike.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so it's sitting on a little base.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'd
See, there's
make
like
more sense. Yeah,
there's line art, and like I see like two eyeballs instead of two wheels, and
yeah.
like
You see, that's
some
what I'm
weird.
saying. You're seeing something that doesn't. you're seeing into you
into
know
the lines.
yeah into the lines. Yeah, something colors sometimes do badly. You're like, well, what the fuck is that? Oh, that isn't. No, it's not that. Well, I mean, so I've been fascinated with this book over at DC called Scooby Doo Apocalypse. Have you seen this? Like they're trying to tell a mature, like Walking Dead style story with Scooby Doo, where they're all grown up and like the mystery wagon's this giant ATV and there's zombies everywhere and it's fucking weird, bro. I don't know what they're doing. And so I don't even know who this is for. And they got Howard Porter to draw it, and Howard Porter used to draw like JLA back in the day, and he's a good artist. But his style has gotten interesting. So there's that guy that started at Top Cow. Um, what's his name? Does a lot of this like line art, like pretty detailed stuff. Like he did the Psylocke piece and the Velocity. He's moved to DC. He's been drawing Superman for a while, and what's his name? Cannot remember his name. And anyway, so he's adopted this guy's art style quite a bit. And I was just happened to see these pages the other day, and he's got like some of the most insane. Like the cover has. Well, he did this Justice League cover, aside from the Scooby Doo stuff, that has like just crazy details in the moon, like super McFarlane version moon, right? It's colored one color and the logo's put over it. I'm like, what was the point of all that? Like the Scooby Doo book has like he's probably using some 3D here and there to get some of the background details, but there's so much detail that I'm like, it's not helping the book much. You know what I mean? Like it's a
Hmm.
great. There is a point with details where you're not. It's not adding energy, and it's just cramming the page with stuff. Does that make any sense?
Yeah,
We're to the point where you're just like, I don't know if that's. I don't think you have to show what you can do every panel. Like I don't like. And I don't think it serves the book much, too. And in some ways it gets in the way. I don't know. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like sometimes when they draw probably too much, you
yeah,
know? No shadows, no nothing, just endless fucking details. And you go, oh, it's great to look at. I'm like, but it's not really noticeable in color. It's just, a lot of it falls away. And then you're sort of like, just got like panel after panels, all these details. I don't know, man. Like I just look at it, I'm like, I'm not gonna tell someone to draw less, but as a reader, I don't know if it's. I'm like, yeah, dude. I'm glad he did all that, you know. But if you haven't seen the Scooby Apocalypse thing, it's hilarious because it's like, I just don't know who the book's for, you know.
like who was asking for that?
Like it's not like they're smoking weed and doing some shit where you're like, well, of course they'd be doing that, It's not really, the grown-up version of Scooby Doo. It's just like Scooby had like cybernetic like parts hanging off them, and they got drones and shit. Like I don't fucking know, man. It's odd.
Man, Shaggy looks terrible.
You see what I'm saying? Like I don't know who this is for.
Like who's reading this?
Like in Jay and Silent Bob when they meet up with Scooby Doo, the mystery, like that kind of plays with the Scooby Doo, you know, mythos in a way that makes sense. But this, I don't know, man. It's the book you never knew you wanted. I don't want to knock Porter because he's doing a fine job, but at the same time, like I just don't think it needs like. Do you have nothing else? Like I don't know, man. Like It's like they got this giant gas station scene with the ATV, and it's 3D when you're seeing all the treads perfectly rendered. You know what I mean? I'm like, no one did the math on all those treads, like, because you have to calculate the math when those things are going around production. That's why most artists fill in tires with black when they're just drawing shit, because But when you see an artist render every little tread in perspective, unless it's Jeff Darrow, if it's a monthly book, I guarantee you it's 3D. There's just no way to do that. And then a panel later, half the size, it's the same shot from the other angle, which I'm like, yep, 3D. You know, and that's just one of those things where I'm like, it's kind of like those Star Wars books when there's too many ships in a panel.
Hmm.
There's like ships everywhere and lasers, and you're like, this has no energy. It's just a lot of shit being thrown at you. It's like the evil cloud of something when they had that in the movies, the giant swarm cloud that will come and kill us all.
Hey, Darth Andrew. Thanks for joining us tonight. Rob's just working on his Yakuza cover.
Yeah.
I typed in Scooby Apocalypse, and like the first thing that came up is a review from IGN.
What'd they say?
Uh, their opening two sentences are, "People always say you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but sometimes it's perfectly acceptable to look at a comic cover and say, thanks, but I'll pass."
That's what I'm trying to. Who's the book for? It's like I know Jim Lee had to do some of the. Look, I like Jim. You know what I mean? Here's the
Hmm.
thing: he's not a very good character designer. Everyone has one in them. You know, and he's designed Gambit. The coat part is cool. I don't know what the fuck's going on Gambit's neck or why he has chrome boots and shit like that. You know what I mean? But the coat and the little fingerless gloves and the head hair popping out, that part looks cool. A lot of other shit, I don't know. It gets far crazier as you get into Wildcats. You're like, okay, those are cool drawings. It's a nice fictional universe, kind of anime, kind of over the top. And then you get into like the DC New 52 shit, right? Where Superman has metallic outfits and they keep working the Superman symbol into everything, his belt, his fucking earrings, his belly button. Just weird fucking shit. Like, why does Batman need chrome boots? Like, it doesn't. I don't understand. And then I look at this. I'm like, Scooby has like weird techno back brace things, and I'm like, I just don't know, man. You know, there's a version of this idea somewhere. You know, and this ain't it. And I appreciate artists throwing. I like the craftsmanship when an artist would throw down. I mean, that's the '90s, right? Where you're always like, wonder what they're gonna fucking draw this time. But when you're throwing a lot of 3D in there, it takes away from that anyhow. To me, I'm like, well, that didn't count. You're not really drawing that shit. Or when you're drawing a bunch of like that moon that he did this Justice League cover, and the moon is fucking crazy. All these characters piled up on one another, tons of lines everywhere, swoosh lines, and once it's colored, you just can't see any of it. Like they just because colors have to break that up and actually create space and bring a little bit of focal point, shove the logo on there. I'm like, just and he used to not do that. Like that's kind of like because this is '90s. This dude that draws over top, I forget his fucking name. He's a good artist. It's just that he's trying to add like that flavor into his art, and I'm like, your art was like because he'll post some of his old pages from Justice League. I'm like, that shit looked just fine. Like it would hold up to you. You do that now today, everyone's gonna be following you. I can't read what's going on. Does that make any sense, Kyle? Like it's just so much you can't even see. It's kind of like Bachalo, right? Like Bachalo when he did like Death or even X-Men back in like the late '90s. I loved it because I'm like, oh, this stuff's cool. It's got a cool little style to it. He's got some details, but I can still see everything now. Ever since fucking he did this book called Steampunk, I can't fucking tell what the fuck's going on in his art. To this day, I'm like, I don't know, man. It's cool. I don't know what I'm looking at. And at that point, I'm like, what are you doing that for? You know, I don't think it's helping. I always thought Capullo was good at managing that detail, but also giving you being able to pull back and just like focal point things and add silhouette and shit.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah, I remember really liking his stuff in Spawn.
yeah, he knew how to add tons of details, but then to to shape it in a way where it's not competing with the entire page. You know, the entire page isn't competing with itself, and that's not an easy thing to do. You know, but it is possible.
Did he and Zack Snyder end their Batman run? Do you know?
You Scott Snyder, not Zack Snyder.
Or, yeah, Scott Snyder. Not,
Yeah,
yeah,
but he's doing Reborn right now, so he's got his own comic, and then they're gonna come back. So they take a little
okay.
hiatus, and then they'll be back. He's already been alluding to that. I wasn't a fan of the coloring on his year two stuff, Batman Year Two or whatever. They moved. They want to go into like a Silver Age look and tons of hot pinks. You know, I'm like, I don't want my Batman with hot pink. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, every now and then, like in year one when Frank
Ask
Maz
Joel Schumacher how that worked out.
yeah, it just I guess I just like maybe the colorist is bored because it's well, it's just gray and dreary all the time. Yeah, like that doesn't work for the Dark Knight Returns. Works now. Just stick with it. If that's boring to you, fucking go. Don't draw bad. Go color something else. Like
Here, DC's got this great Scooby Apocalypse book.
yeah,
They're looking for all sorts of colors.
anybody. You want to draw the Scooby book? That'd be the one I'd end up on, right? We got a book for you, Rob. Oh shit. It's Scooby Doo. And you're like, well, I gotta at least show what I can do with this. No, you don't. You know, you really don't. Just get paid. Like, don't. Be great if they got Travis Cherish to draw, and it's just uber realistic, and I mean, it's already headed there. It's like when I was drawing those stupid Richie Rich covers. They'd send it off, and the fucking the the licensors would be like, "He looks a little old." I'm like, "Then hire someone else." Like that was literally the first time I was like, "I'm not changing anything." I'm above this. You know, not a lot, but this I'm above. I'm better than this, so I'm not changing nothing. Time for changing is at the development stage. Well, in the next one, can you make them look a little younger? Maybe, maybe not. See how I feel, because I kind of hate this job. you know,
Is that
but
still a comic book?
it was. They tried to reboot it at 8 before 8 folded. I only took it for one reason. My dad loves Richie Rich, or loved Richie Rich, and it was his favorite thing when he was a kid. So I literally took the job to make my dad super proud. He's like, "Oh my god, it's amazing!" I'm like, "Oh, this is what it's like when actors take jobs for their kids." They're like, "I was only in it because my kid." But it's like if I have to ink my own work, it just sucks. I never wanted to be that guy. It kind of sucks because I was like, I'm no inker, but I can't pencil a page loosely because I get fucking carpal tunnel from the pencils. So like life is forcing me to use inks, Like imagine if one day you had to use digital because film cameras like ruined you for some fucking reason, You'd be like, oh
Mm.
shit, I don't want to do it. Or vice versa, like you had to shoot all your shit on an iPhone.
Uh, these big cameras like hurt my back. Now I can't lift them.
Beyond hurt your back, like can't walk,
Like,
you know.
now, now
I
I gotta
mean,
shoot everything onto my iPhone.
it was getting to the point where, I mean, I couldn't put peanut butter on my bread, you know. That's how bad it was. And then I was leaning with my shoulder too much when I used a Cintiq and pulled my shoulder out. I couldn't do push-ups for a year. It's all those disclaimers that don't come with the fucking box.
Yeah. How long was it you had to take a break from like drawing traditionally?
2008. Um, I did the little sketches. I took 2 years from doing anything major, and then I started doing the little sketches around 2010, 2011, and didn't actually draw. When was the first time I drew something? I think the first time I drew something like completely digital, I mean traditional, that was fairly complex, past 2008, was when I did the Avengers Aussies.
Hmm.
And some of the gritty stuff I was doing at the time. Like I started doing some of that looser gritty shit, right, with the Batman, the gritty thing. But like it's super loose. You know what I mean? And I was like, is this how I have to draw now, all the time? I mean, I like doing it sometimes. You know what I mean? It's fun, but oh shit. Um, but there was definitely 2, 3, 4 years. I mean, in terms of just anything, and even then, I mean, it really hasn't been. It's like the idea of drawing a portion of it and inking. I didn't do again. The last time I did it was on Monstroids issue 1. I stopped around page 9 or 10, so that's 2008, 2009, somewhere around there. And I didn't do that again until the Battletoads. You know what I mean? Like, now your Mononoke and those things, I started doing some of those, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those were steps. So after the Avengers, I did the little heads, which then worked into the half paper sheets, which then worked in doing the Star Wars pieces, right? So I was kind of working my way back up. But those are it's a big character, right? And even that background that I drew, it's not fully detailed, it's just a couple rocks and.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so yeah, it was a long road, man, you know, to being able to get back to even this is not fully, it's getting there, but it's going to take another couple years of this to really, yeah, shit, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, you know, 6 years definitely in terms of just getting back. But I mean, whatever. I mean, it was definitely 4 before I threw down anything worth a note. But even then, if you look at those Avengers pieces, it's a giant body that's not all the way drawn, and they're not really weighted very well. They're kind of stiff, a little flat here and there. And part of that is just me feeling comfortable with the drawing surface. I drew them on the illustration board.
Hmm.
I can't ink on a slick surface, like super slick paper. I need a little bit of tooth. That's why I can't use the brush, that Pentel brush. Tried. You'll see me bust it out every now and then going like, maybe this is the time. I just can't feel anything. Can't feel anything. I can't feel it touching the paper. There's no mental connection there. I have to feel the tactileness. But I can't press hard.
Or you'll get carpal tunnel.
I will. Burning, skating, painful. I don't know, Kyle. That shit really scared the fuck out of me, you know? I never anticipated that when I was a kid.
It's like finally you put in all this work, finally we're getting good, and then your body's like, nah.
Felt mean. You know, has it all been a? Do I owe all this money? Because I still owe student loan. Do I owe all this money? Has my entire life been for nothing? I got very depressed. It's a one time in my career. I've only been legitimately depressed 3 times in my life. One was when my mom, unfortunately, sort of like left me on a doorstop on Christmas and disappeared. We call that abandonment, but okay, that put me in a funk when I was like 8. I won't lie. There was a lot in my room, just in my bed crying and shit, and I realized what death and loss meant all at once. It was not a good time. The second time was for about a month. I got really, really bummed out right before I joined the army, just because when your childhood's over. And I didn't have much of a childhood, so I kind of had a good year after high school, and it was all over, and I got kind of really depressed about that. But then I got over it because it's typical teenager shit. And then the third time would be this 2012 thing. Because I just felt like I didn't draw actually for 6 months, and the very first thing I drew was that Avengers Saucy thing. It was actually I had just got done creating Game Cave. The first version of it was just going to be a game magazine, with Bacon and myself, and I was going to try to launch it, do print on demand, and he just didn't write anything. He was going to do all the writing. I was going to do the layouts, and then he didn't do anything. Just strung me along for like 2 or 3 months, and finally I just quit. I was like, you fucking asshole. So that's why I make him a little girl in the comics, I'm gonna get my fucking bacon money out of him. But
Payback.
yeah, he's a Cosbrow. He also dresses Princess Peach and everything. So it's gonna be awesome. But and look, hey, woe is me, but that shit fucked with me. And get
Good
over it.
morning, Dom.
Yeah, what's up, Dom? But it does happen. I mean, I'm sure there's been times in your career you've been like, why? You know? Why?
That describes my entire career.
Hey, at least you still have. The only thing I miss, man, is being able to make an in and out run at 1 in the morning. If you really want to know. Today kind of caught up to me. I'm like, man, I really. Why is Mario 3D Land trending on Twitter? Oh, they're streaming it on Games Done Quick. Gotcha. Nice, Tom. Nice.
I don't know what that means, Dom. I don't speak British.
Funny, because sometimes you seem to respond to me in a similar British manner of total silence and dismissal.
I was gonna. have to have my British friend translate.
You
But
drink, Kyle? I don't think I've ever seen you drink.
no,
Yeah, I just realized that, being that the whole he's drunk thing. I'm like, I don't think you drink. You a Jehovah's
no,
Witness or something? Or
no.
am I not caught on to this? Like,
I have few enough brain cells as it is.
gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. I don't care. Just curious.
Late office Christmas party. Yeah, that is
Late.
pretty.
Yes. Or just an excuse to drink in the winter. Right?
Yeah. It's just what the office does. Anytime they want to have a party, there's like, let's just say Christmas is super late. Like it's June.
Yeah, but I could tell you what pushed me to draw more, dude, was just going to cons and everyone had digital art, you know, and the saucy thing, you know. Like first my rough lines would sell more than my prints with fully rendered characters. I'm like, why? That didn't make any sense to me, you know. Clearly this looks better, but what they're like, yeah, but it's just so different. I'm like, but it's shit. Like I don't. This really threw me a loop, you know. And I'm like, well, that's because no one looks like this, Rob. Everyone's looking the same, and this at least looks different, for good or for bad. And then the saucy thing, but now everyone has that, so no one cares. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I see this guy at a lot of the conventions around here that does sort of saucy style stuff. He just has so many prints,
yeah. They
and
just
they all just kind of look the same. And I don't think I've ever seen. I've stopped by his table once or twice to see if he has any original art, just because I'm curious to see if he does any original stuff, but never has any.
well, that's like at least with Saucy 2.0 when I really sort of nail that. You know, it does look different, you know, but it doesn't lend itself to being done over and over and over. You know, like it's hard.
Yeah, this other guy, he stopped at like saucy zero point 0.3 beta.
Yeah,
It's
just enough.
not even out of the beta stage yet. It's like I like the saucy style. When Rob does it, I make him cry.
Well, we were at this con once, and this guy had literally just jacked the fucking one I had just done, like on the internet, and he didn't know I was behind him. Guy comes over, dude. That looks like this guy's art. I'm like, I just did that last night. You know? Well, no, I mean he hasn't. I'm like, then he stole it from me. You know? I don't know about that, man. I'm like, I do. You know? Like, I know who the fuck I am. You know? Like, I don't fucking steal from people. Go bring him over here. You know? Tell him I'm jacking his shit. I want to hear about it. You know? They brought the print, and it's literally the fucking one I had just done. I'm like, you did this? He's like, you're SketchCraft? Oh, I'm a big fan. No shit. Like, no shit. Thank you. I mean, what can you do? There's nothing you can do about it. So it's like, whatever, you know. But I'm not going to be accused of ganking shit that I came up with, you know. Well, I saw it over there first. I can't control where you see shit, you know. Everyone sees other stuff before my stuff. What's new about that?
When is this cover due?
Yesterday. Oh, fucking. I had it in my mind the 20th, but who knows? You know. They can fire me.
Yesterday would explain why I was. It was like 11 something at night. I'm like, maybe I'll watch an episode of Mr. Robot and go to bed. And then I get this notification like, Rob streaming? That
Well, I have been trying to stick to this drawing at 8 a.m. thing. I can't draw before noon, bro.
mm-hmm.
I can write. I can do graphic design. You know. I can clean. I can post videos. I can't draw before noon.
Shovel snow.
I can shovel snow. I can't draw before noon. I can't. I can sketch to some extent, but my mind just, I have limits, you know? So, and I can't draw for 12. I can draw between 8 and 10 hours, but 10's pushing it just because of how much I'm drawing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm working on all these little details and shit. So, 8 hours is the sustainable long term rate. I have to find other things to do, you know? And there are other things to do, but the more healthy balance would be like to color earlier, but not at 8. Like maybe the earliest is 10. I like to be. I'm not even good at talking at 8 a.m. So I was streaming at 8, and it's like I can't even talk to you people. You know, like I'm just, you know, I just I don't want to talk to anybody. So I was trying to do it so also I could be up when my wife goes to work. You know, 'cause I actually enjoy the good night, have a good day, you know, that kind of shit. But the fact of the matter is, you know, so drawing until 1 or 2 a.m. It's just the schedule I had before that worked, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And so I'm going back to it. I have been going back to it. Why am I up now? So the only problem with this is this right here is a bit more tedious. Normally drawing this part is fun. I just kind of power through it. But being that I have to kind of be careful about how I'm inking, and it's not fun. It's not fun for me. It's a little bit tedious and laborious and kind of having to pull back and look at it. I'm hoping by the time I get to the X-Men stuff, I'll be like, I know what I'm doing. But if I move too quickly, then it's going to be really sketchy. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so there's only so fast I can move before. So, and the sketch look is fine, but I gotta. There is a responsibility. You can't. What will happen is, if I go too sketchy, it'll start to parody itself after a while. You know what I mean? Where the thing I talk about, where you start to do things too fast, too repetitively, you'll start to take shortcuts, and it'll become like a copy of a copy of a copy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to be very aware of that too, and not build bad habits into my workflow. If I just did digital anime art, the same chick posing with her face.
You'd have 10 times as many fans.
There's this guy I follow on Instagram. All he does is these really super sketchy, like, I don't know, I could call them fairies. I don't know what the fuck it is, you know? And I'm like, gets a billion fucking hits. You know, doesn't have to draw anything beyond that. I'm like, fucking jealous, you know? Like, why can't I have that career? I want that. Why can't I have that? God to have that, you know? Like, I'd sabotage myself, you know? I don't have that because it's not how I think, but I wish I did. I wish I was stupid. You know, I'm not saying he's stupid, but you know what I mean. Like, I just wish I could. I guess I did say that, but that's gonna come back to haunt me. So it's just not the thing I do. I wish I thought that way. I guess. You know what I really wish? I wish I was just born rich and didn't have to do anything.
Don't we all?
Then we would be born rich. Then we'd be like, we hate being rich. We wish we were poor. Yeah, never fucking
Life's
fails.
life's too easy. I wish I
Yeah,
knew what it was like to be
like
challenged.
like the Gwyneth Paltrow book. It's so easy. Have you seen that?
Oh,
Yeah, that didn't go over very well on the internet, bro. Even from celebrities. Put it that way. And what's crazy is it's so easy, and then underneath her name is the writer who actually wrote it, the ghostwriter. You know, it's fucking hilarious. Cause like I could totally be a cinematographer. I just hired this guy to do it for me, and I put my name on it.
it's easy. How many covers have you done for these guys so far?
Just one.
Okay.
This will be for issue 2. They do this every other month. It's a
Okay.
bi-monthly publication. Digital.
Are you doing all the covers
Yep.
for them?
I sold them on that idea because I'm a fucking moron. I just wanted one gaming publication with some consistency. You know? It's like watching Retro try to get a guy to draw a bunch of games on their newest cover and clearly not good at it is pathetic. Like they got the cheap bargain base version of me, you know? Doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
His name is Robin Dennis.
He's probably a really nice guy, you know? Probably like, I'm a big fan of yours, Rob. I'm like, ah, shit, I said all this nasty shit about you on the podcast. Like, you know, you're totally not qualified and you probably should go back to fucking art school or just pop open a book and, or just fucking try. Like, see, what the problem is when they do that, it makes me feel like I suck too. You know what I mean? Is that how they see me? I have this really weird way of looking at things, you know? I don't go, oh, they got, you know, the cheap thing. 'Cause one, I'm not charging that much. But two, I go, is that what I look like maybe I can't see it, you know? You know, like if you got to direct a Star Wars movie, you'd be like, oh, I'm amazed. And then the very next movie, they hire Brandon. You'd be like, hmm. You know, nice guy, but what's that say about me? If I want to have any hope at drawing anything for publishers, I have to fucking ink my own work. You know, there's no way around that. They just don't hire inkers unless you're a fucking pro. Really ridiculous.
Seems like hiring an inker should just be part of the. It's just
I know.
part of what it takes to get the job done.
I know. I don't think artists should be inking their own stuff half the time. First off, just for time purposes, just sketch the stuff in, let the inker finish it. But two, not everyone's got the fucking, you know what I mean? Like Jab Kirby didn't ink his own shit, you know. And then I see these artists who are like inking their own stuff, putting up Jack Kirby's work. I'm like, you ain't ever gonna be Jack Kirby, bro. Like you just, you know, he didn't ink his own shit. He was focused on drawing the book, you know.
Just doesn't seem like a good idea from a output perspective. Like it's like, well, if you want an artist to be able to put out like X number of books a year, like if you have them just focusing on drawing the art and not doing all the other
They
stuff.
don't want to pay for it, you know. So they'll just get someone who's willing to get paid less to do more. You understand how that works. You're in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, on top of lighting our film here, buddy, you think you could handle craft services too? You know, you think you could? Yeah.
Sure, I can do that. While you're at it, how about you make a Starbucks run? We also need some photocopies.
You're right.
Yeah.
Hey, man, that's how Chris McQuarrie got his job. Don't knock it. Don't knock a copy jockey. That's where he wrote Usual Suspects. I know
We all
all the stories.
and you came out of Kinko's.
Birth there. I came out of Kinko's. First the womb, then the Kinko's. Yeah, because I've been the stellar fucking pro. My career is so amazing. All the artists look up to me. You know? I got people going, you should check out Draw with Jazz. Like, he can't draw. Sorry. I hate to say it. You know? He's why when I tell people I'm on YouTube, they look at me like, like, no, but I do the, fuck. You know? Hey, I like that guy. You see? I should create a mouse book and then go complain that the mouse guard guy is stealing from me. Just gaslight the whole fucking con and shit. People who don't know better, you know? Any new person goes, oh yeah, that guy's totally ripping me off. What? Motherfucker. One time when I was at Comic Con in San Diego, I think it was the last time I ran the Game Fan booth. These guys, whole family of Guamanians came over and they're like, your last name's Duenas? I'm like, yeah. You're one of us, Holmes. I'm like, yep. And they're like, you're in the family now, man. Anyone fuck with you? You last. I mean, they were dead serious, bro. I was like, holy shit, I'm in the club. Like, so then I looked at my buddy Joe, who's with me. I'm like, you fuck with me, you're gonna have to answer to them. He was, go get me coffee.
Yeah, the right club doesn't offer
Right.
anything that cool.
They don't even give discounts when they work at like McDonald's, you know. You pay full price, motherfucker. just to reiterate, I like Howard Porter's art. I just think it's wasted on Scooby Doo. You know, he's really keeping himself interested. You know, I mean, give him a Guy Gardner book. You know, anything.
Is Guy Gardner, is that Green Lantern?
Yeah,
Okay. I, I don't know my DC books that well.
apparently not. See, before I wouldn't be putting this much effort into popping out all these things. I would be like, oh, done, moving on. But now I have to actually come here and
Hey,
try.
Matt.
Hey, Matt Curry's here.
Yep.
Matt, what's up, Matt? Just trying to be a comic book artist here. Trying to do the thing with the fucking inking. That used to be like the thing. McFarlane, like, I ink my own work. Like, that's amazing. He inks his own work. Oh my god. Now it's like, fuck. I gotta color this shit too. Some of them do, man, because they do digitally painted books. You know, they kind of draw like that. If you look at like Gotham Academy, it's like silhouetted and they paint into it. You know, they're doing the whole books digitally, painted, all in one shot, bro. We're all fucked. It's gonna be a huge draw.
Are you gonna draw in all the background stuff, or is that just all gonna go in at the?
No, I'm gonna draw it.
Okay. No,
That's all
you're
I gotta get
painting that
drawn.
in digitally, or
No, I gotta draw it. Yeah. Doesn't have to be quite as clean because I still think backgrounds look better a little looser.
hmm
I don't know about you, but super tight backgrounds, especially ones they're colored, I don't get the point. You know?
I feel like it compresses the space, whereas when your background isn't quite like so tight, it makes it feel like there's more distance between your characters and the background, just because they don't all blend together.
Right. Not so heavy. It's like a wall of ink, right?
My brother got me. Uh, Alan Moore's From Hell for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
So,
It's a little bit different from the movie.
there's
Okay.
a movie?
You never saw From Hell with Johnny Depp and Heather Graham?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I've seen the movie.
Yeah, those guys that did Elijah or Molokai. What was that one with fucking Denzel Washington? Remember?
Uh, no.
2009, I think it came out. Elijah. They did
Oh,
that.
yeah. Ezekiel?
Zeke, some one of those fucking things, man. I don't know.
That's what it was called.
Are you sure? Sure you don't got that wrong?
A Book of Eli?
They see you didn't have it right. I knew it's like that ain't it. That is not Ezekiel. Yeah, Book of Eli.
Which, if people act now, the title Ezekiel is available for a feature film.
Now you know. You and Kirk Cameron. You know, it can happen, Kyle. You're like, I'm working with Cameron. Kirk Cameron. Oh, fuck. You ever work with Jim Cameron? I'm pulling the fucking, I'll do whatever it takes. To get to show up and see the man in action fucking card, you know? Whatever it takes, Kyle, you let me know.
All
What's it gonna
right.
take? Yeah. I'll drive a golf. I'll do anything. I'll clean the golf cart. You know what I mean? I ain't gotta. Someone's gotta clean the golf cart.
So, Rob, my other favorite episode of Rick and Morty is with Mr. Meeseeks.
Yeah, fair
But
enough. Don't give a shit.
but I like every single
Yeah.
Mr.
Okay.
Meeseeks.
All right. Every single one of them. I can do it. I mean, I'll get my money back. You know. Is that part where they zoom in on the art on a motion comic? You know, blow it the fuck up, spin it all around the fucking TV, and you go, "That guy's art sucks." Like that was just unfair. If I zoomed in on your girlfriend enough, you'd be disgusted. You know, like
No zooming required.
some guy posted last night. He's like, "But why all the red shadows?" I'm like, "Lighting. What does it look like? You know, it's fairly evident." Like,
It's possible he was just a big fan of the color green, and I'm just wondering why not the color green.
well, because they only make red and blue with this mechanical lead. That's super cheap, and red's the color of sketchcraft because, you know. For some reason, I'm not like a red guy, but um, yeah, I read this. I remember back in 2004, I read that book. It's like, oh yeah, it's a power color. I'm like, hmm. So they made me assistant manager at Kinko's. I decided to get this giant fire red fucking shirt, because like assistant managers wear fucking ties and a shirt. So I got a giant red shirt and a black tie. I'm like, I look like the devil, I came right in. Everyone was like, the fuck. It's amazing. So I'd wear it during like interview like review purposes and shit. He's wearing the red shirt. Oh fuck, what's going on? The look. Like, yeah. Who's the manager? He's the guy in the red shirt. Oh shit. People were nicer to me when I wore the red shirt. Timid. They're intimidated a little bit. What's this guy up to? To figure out my lighting. Which way is it coming? I don't have light worked out like you. You genius lighting people.
Well, I at least have the advantage of I don't have to imagine where all the lights are coming from.
Does that make a difference? Like, it's harder, right? Because sometimes I'm like, it seems harder having to imagine where the shit's supposed to go.
Yeah. If I want to imagine it's coming from somewhere, I just put a light there and then I don't have to imagine it anymore.
You're right, it's easier.
It shows me,
Fuck.
alright, there we go.
Got into the wrong game.
Like, oh, that's what it looks like if the light's right there.
That's where the 3D helps, right? Because they can just throw a light and go, look, there it is.
Yeah. I mean, they make programs where you can, like, 3D model the rooms and all
Yeah,
the
they
lights
do,
and
but
stuff.
I can't do it. I get carpal tunnel. I can't.
I just,
I can't do it. I legitimately can't. What is wrong with the universe, Kyle? Like if I just didn't have, I don't get it. Like why is it so hard for me? I had to teach Brandon's wife how to do it because I can't. You know, like I was like even when she laid out the buildings and I'm like, oh, I'll go over here and drop them in, right? Okay, I have to time myself. 30 minutes. I have to stop, stretch, stretch my hand out, put it under water, you know? It's like one of those fighters that got knocked out too hard, and they can never take a punch again.
mhm.
Only I'm not a fighter, I'm just a fucking artist, you know? I legitimately got scared about the feet enlarging problem I had there for a little bit from not moving.
Mhm.
My feet swole up. I was like, this is how people die when they play. You hear those stories in like Japan about a guy who played video games too long, or in China, and they died. Look it up. It happens every fucking year, bro. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
at internet cafes,
Yeah.
and they just their body just sits there rotting while everyone else plays Warcraft or Starcraft or whatever. it's there's a movie. You know, you can shoot it in China, get a tax credit.
I'm big in China.
Literally, you'd be giant compared to most of them. Like, he'd be, oh, Attack on Titan. That was the most racist fucking voice ever. But okay, Rob, did not plan on doing that. You know what's crazy is most Chinese people have like a better ass enunciation than I do. You know, my friend Rachel was Asian. She, God rest her soul, passed it. Poor girl, man. She's my age. She's maybe a year older. Died of breast cancer a couple years ago. You know what I mean? She had a giant set too. Like we were like we were like homies. Some of the few girls I've ever been friends with where we were like best friends. She helped me get through fucking AI. And she had all the friends. She was such a friendly person. She made friends with all the chefs because we had that culinary part that opened up. And so she'd go there and get me free food all the time.
Nice.
But she had that perfect, like, like, just, she could read audiobooks. I was like, how do you speak so Why are you an artist? You should be doing, like, audiobooks or something. Go on to fucking PBS. She could speak so well. So I don't know where that fucking stereotype voice come from, but it's got to be like a relic of World War II, right? It's got to be. I'd ask my grandfather, but he died. We tried to take him to a. I mean, he fought the Japanese, but to him, it's all the same, you know? So we took him to a Chinese restaurant once, and that did not go very well. You know? He fought in the Pacific, so, you know.
It's like Grandpa, the Chinese would agree with you about the Japanese.
Yeah, I tried to explain to him, like, they were fighting the Japanese with you. Like, but,
You're like, you think you don't like the Japanese? Like,
yeah. Yeah, he didn't want to hear it.
Talk to the Chinese.
He kept telling me he was there, and I kept trying to explain to him, not everywhere. You're not Santa Claus, like you were in the ocean. But I assure you, they're not. I wonder if Andy Rooney, or was it Mickey Rooney? Mickey Rooney came. Andy Rooney was 60 Minutes, right? Mickey Rooney probably came up with that. Remember he did that bullshit? Stereotype. It's like, okay, case in point. George Takei speaks better than all of us.
Oh my.
I wonder how many Asian, like Japanese Americans have that. Oh my. I wonder if that's just him.
I think that's his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think that like started off one way and then he just kind of bought into himself at some point? Like in the 60s, It's like, because I don't remember being in any of the movies. You imagine you go back to like Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and all of us they get hit with a missile, photon torpedo, and he's like, "Oh my!" Well, I still think they should have replaced him, or sorry, should have replaced the Affleck duck with him. When they got rid of Gilbert Gottfried, they should have gone with George Takei. I stand by that. Affleck. Like that would have been amazing. Amazing.
And during the same casting session, they bring in John Leguizamo.
No, no one does that. But the Ice Age people and Adam Sandler. You ever see the movie The Pest?
No.
Oh, that's torture. Yeah, you gotta see. So you know that classic like Twilight Zone, Outer Limits style story where there's those rich people. They'll bring people to an island and for the hunt, and then it turns out they're hunting them. This story's been done 100 fucking times, And they even did an issue of Spawn once where it's the same thing. They're hunting people, and then Spawn shows up out of nowhere. Nowhere, dude. Just like a boogeyman. Like, it's this part where he's made Spawn into like I don't know, And he did that. So anyway, The Pest is all about that. I think it stars, what's his face from Howard the Duck? The bad guy. What's his face? Dreyfus. Not Dreyfus. I want to say Dreyfus, but that's not his name.
George Lucas?
No. He was the fucking, the principal in Ferris Bueller.
Oh, Eugene Levy?
No. Eugene Levy. You loser. No, man, the principal from Rooney. So he was in this movie where he played the rich person, and they decided to get John Leguizamo. So he's just You just gotta just sit through the opening credits. Like you know what you're in for. Like I think you could watch that and Joe Dirt back to back and have a pretty interesting time. I'm a huge fan of Joe Dirt. I am. I love that movie. I was the only one in the theater going, I love it. I don't know why no one else is here.
Did you watch Joe Dirt 2?
I don't know why anyone else would make that. That I can't. Comedy sequels never work. Name one. See? Why they don't work. They don't work. I learned that a long time ago. That's why they can't make another Ghostbusters movie. Maybe 22 Jump Street, but I haven't seen it. My guess is it would just be, it's probably a lot like 21 Jump Street. You know, they just tend to remake the comedy. I mean, Lethal Weapon is pretty much a remake of Lethal Weapon 2 is pretty much a remake of Lethal Weapon 1. No difference. A lot of the same gags. That's why I'm like, I don't know what they're going to do about Deadpool. It took 10 years to write that. You know, like, maybe a comedy isn't what they should be making. They're fucking hard to make, comedies, you know? I mean, to be funny consistently, I don't know, man. There's only so many jokes one person has, you know? No, I think I might just have to cut it off here and then get the background done in the morning. Because I'm certainly not going to be able to finish it in the next hour. It's probably got about, I got that stupid dude to do. I gotta get this whole background done and then block that in and then get him drawn in there. It's taking way too long. Should not take this long, but I did not be very productive today. Had a lot of fun on Twitter. Every now and then I do that. You know?
Every once in a while, you gotta. I mean, it's not every day Nintendo announces all the details of their
Nope.
new system.
But it's getting closer. You know, like they can't do this every 3 years, Kyle. You know? Like this is they can't. This has to be it for a while. You know? They have to commit here to something, you know? They can't keep doing this. It's just funny, and I gotta explain to the guys of a Sega magazine that I spent my entire day talking about Nintendo. So that's why I didn't get their shit done. You know, like they don't generally want to hear that. You know?
Yeah, it was like my Nike job today. Like they sent out like the call sheet. They're like, "Don't wear like competing brand stuff."
Right. Couldn't
And
have fun.
I just wanted to show up like Ben Stiller from Royal Tenenbaums. This Adidas tracksuit with like my Adidas
Like for
headband.
real, dude, are you really gonna offend? You know what I mean? Like, is this really? We all have to be like, it's not a fucking church. You know, like you're here to do a job. You know,
Yeah,
like what is wearing night? Like you're not even employees. You know what I mean? You're contractors. Like this is, you know, wouldn't it be great if you did show up and all that shit and they freaked out, like they killed you, like you know, they roll you up in a giant Reebok coffin. It'd be amazing. Just watching these guys try to drive on the I-84 out of Oregon. It's crazy. Watched a FedEx truck just slide across the highway. Two cops were fucking like escorting it while it just kept sliding. Couldn't stop it. No one's got chains because no one was fucking prepared for this.
Teach them.
What are you up to this weekend?
Hmm,
In and out?
nah, probably just do some reading.
What you reading?
I'm reading a Brandon Sanderson book, which he's like a fantasy kind of author. He finished up the Realtime series,
I hate that book.
and
Oh, it's narrated horribly. You know, I got into it at the time because they were making this game called The Wheel of Time based off it, and I was like, oh my god, I'll go read this book too. It'll be amazing. And I put it in, and I was like, okay, I can't read this. I just read the book. I'm like, I'll listen to audio, and the audio is narrated. Just, I die, I die, you try to die, die to die. Something to die, to die, to shy. Like it just kept rhyming with one another. I'm like, this guy really fucking loves the sound of his voice. Like I can't take it anymore. I have found a fantasy writer that I've been listening to that's kind of cool. It's called The Lies of Locke Lamora. You ever hear this?
no,
He doesn't overcomplicate the names of people, which I like. I don't like fantasy where it's like, Gamarligan of the land of, Galingalin and Seventh Born of Shamorlin. They all sound like the Swedish chef to me. Bork, 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 bork. So like, I can't take it, dude. I need like Han, Chewie, Lando. Easy shit to remember. So they got the names down, but it's basically about a heist story, but it's in a fantasy world. So it deals with thieves guilds and shit like that. And the audio is really like the audio novel is read by some British dude who does pretty good voices. So Scott Lynch, The Lies of Locke and Lamora. Easy names to
there's a
remember.
lock. Why is a Lockamore?
Huh? No, they just call him Locke. They just call him Locke. I know, Locke Lamora. See, that's what scared me. I'm like, I don't know, man. That's starting to rhyme with its fucking self. And I had to listen to him like, oh, they don't call him that all the time. All right, whew, whew. Like a guy's name is Chains, shit like that. So it's easier to deal with. Did you hear about the Chargers? They're your problem now.
You know how I love my football. Can't stop talking
You
about my
gonna get
favorite
season.
running backs and my tight ends and
You gonna get your season tickets here? Box
oh yeah,
seats.
oh yeah. Um, went from 0 to 2, I guess. Guess what? After the Rams moved to LA, they're still terrible. It's not going to fix anything.
My favorite is all these people showed up to the Chargers headquarters, which is right across the street from where my storage was, right? Because it's right by our old apartment, and they all showed up and dropped off. Like they just piled all their fucking gear that they bought in front of the the headquarters, and then at night they lit it on fire. you know?
I mean, I guess I'd start watching that part of football.
Yeah, it was amazing. My father was the biggest Chargers fan, man. So this if he were still alive, this would have killed him. I'm pretty certain of it. Like, dude, he wasted a lot of money. I got mad at him, like, because he lost his home. Close to like $20,000 worth paying it off, and he spent. He was buying box tickets, season passes to fucking Chargers games, man, for like several years. I found out. And I'm like, that was the exact cost of the like whatever he owed. It was the exact cost of what he spent. You know. And I'm like, you can just watch it on TV. Go to the fucking bar, man. If you want an atmosphere, you know. Oh, I like to go. It's my, it's my little treat. It's not a treat when you're spending $10,000 a year. Like, like it's not a treat, Kyle. Like, it's not. You know, I don't know,
Nice.
Dad. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck happened? So, like, I just plumb turned. Sometimes your parents do that, right? Like, they turn into children as they get older. So, but yeah, he wouldn't have dealt well with that. I'm so happy though. I get very happy.
That others are suffering.
Yeah, I enjoy it. You know, and they can't use that song anymore. San Diego, right? I think they couldn't use it before because he turned out to be a child molester, but but every now and then some dumbass, was that? No, that was that. No, I think the Superchargers guy got one too. I think they both got it. I think they both got it. Don't quote me on that. He'll get a hold of me. You said I was touching kids. Like, fuck. You listen to the podcast? I draw, motherfucker. I'm the hell boy. Hell yeah. Hell to the yeah, hell boy. He didn't actually read the comic, did he? It's believable though, You could see that happening. Maybe not from Sam Jackson, but I think definitely like Martin Lawrence, or what the hell was Jamie Foxx doing in Amazing Spider-Man 2? What the fuck was that? You know what I mean? What the fuck was that? Like, did he see Batman Forever and go, by Jove, I think he's got it. Like I'll do it, but I'll pretend I'm Mike Tyson.
They should have just gotten Cuba Gooding.
It is tough to watch him in that OJ thing, man. He's just not OJ. He's not cool. OJ was always cool. That's why he was able to get away with so much shit. They should have got the guy who plays Diggle on Arrow. He should have been OJ. He could be scary, but really likable. Nice smile and shit. Oh, I like that guy. He's funny. Naked Gun. I still laugh when that opening to Naked Gun where they keep killing him and stabbing him. Oh no, they just keep murdering him over and over again. Especially now, right? Like now it's really funny. But all right, everybody, I'm gonna wrap this up tomorrow, dude. Kyle, say goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Superchargers.